This weekend, Ryan becomes the Blockbuster CEO, Andy becomes a plant, and we fight a materialistic ape in pseudo 3D. I'm Ryan.
I'm Andy.
This is Weekend Rental, episode 227. All right, everybody, welcome back for another one. Andy, you survived the snowpocalypse.
Yeah. It's really frustrating when you had like your complete yard almost starting to turn green and everybody's out in t-shirts doing outdoor sports and stuff like that. And it's clean up the balls, kids. We gotta.
I know, I was like delusional and thinking like, oh, this is the week I'll start biking to work again. And then, oh, hey, how about a foot of snow? That sounds fun, right? So, yeah, it made the weekend interesting. Luckily, things cleared up for Easter, so people were able to get together. But yeah, that last hurrah snowstorm is always a pain in the ass.
Well, like we said, this is normally the weekend for MGC, and that's usually what happens. So
every freaking year, yep. Yeah, well, we fought the elements because I decided to buy movie tickets for the Super Mario Galaxy movie for that Saturday morning, and it was not fun getting to the theater, but we made it, so I got to watch that thing. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't. My son is at it right now.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm interested to hear what he thinks of it. But
yeah, I think he'll have a better time. It's for kids, for sure.
Yeah.
I will say it is slightly better than the first Mario movie. It doesn't. The thing is like it doesn't have a story. Like really, I mean, a princess gets captured, find the princess. So it's like an hour and a half long chase sequence. There's not particularly good writing because there's just not much of a story. So I would say the things you do laugh at are all physical humor gags. That said, it's fine. It's just like the last one. It's not for me, but it's fine. I think the highlight was the Fox from Star Fox, which I'm pretty sure someone in Illumination was just a really big fan of the do a barrel roll meme because they make that joke like 3 times in like the 10 minutes he's on screen. But that was fun to see. Really weird too, but yeah, I mean it's gorgeous though. The animation is top notch. So like it's a nice visual feast for the eyes and a fun ride, which they needed because if they weren't going to write a story, you don't want to stop and think about what's going on. You just want to go, and that's kind of what they did. So,
did they do the same thing as the first one, where it's a lot of popular music soundtrack?
No,
type thing.
I don't know that I recognized, unless I wasn't paying attention. I didn't hear anything outside of Mario music, unless there was like a couple things inserted here or there, but nothing that like stood out in a way that the last one did.
Yeah, I think that was maybe my biggest complaint about the first one was just like that stuff doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, and there's a lot of fan service and some deep cuts and things to look for, but I mean that doesn't make up for the fact that you didn't write an actual script for the movie. But it doesn't really, I don't know, it's not made for me, and I think for what it is, it's just fine. I feel like that's kind of typical, like that's how Illumination does movies for kids, you know what I mean? There's hardly any depth or heart to most of them, and this just kind of falls in with that.
You don't know the life story of Guru at this point, or how the minions are made?
Why did they have to make so many Despicable Me's? That's what I want to know. They talk about a character that didn't need depth and a backstory, and he gets one. But yeah, and there's another Minion movie coming. Shocker! We saw the preview for that. Also saw the trailer for the live action He-Man. That looks, to me, I think it looks atrocious. My daughter and wife were very excited to see it, but it's also because there's a ripped dude in a bra. Maybe, I don't know.
Is it any better than Dolph Lundgren though?
It can't be worse.
Yeah. The Mario stuff, like you would think that you'd be able to whip those out more. I mean, if they really don't have that much depth to them, like why couldn't you whip them out faster or more,
Right.
Like they treat them like they're just some huge project, but I can't see it. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's a little weird to watch this one. I mean, obviously they reference several games and franchises, but it's such a weird step to go from what they did with the first one to like we're completely going from there straight to Galaxy, which is like, all right, that's like 20 years of Mario that you just whipped through in one setting. And it would have made maybe it would have made more sense had they like built Rosalina's character up more and like had more of a backstory, but she's just kind of like another princess to be kidnapped. Is
Really?
really how it works out. So yeah.
That's that's pretty lame. Do you feel it's building up toward a Smash Brothers or crossover type event movie?
Maybe I heard if you stayed past everything for the very end credits, I stayed for the mid credits scene, that it teed up another installment in some way, and I didn't stick for that to see what it was, but I
Yeah.
could see like them, yeah, doing a Smash as like a way to just get everybody in there, right?
Yep. Well, then you can do the Marvel thing where then, you pick out which ones are really popular and you start making movies about those guys
Yeah,
too.
it's very true.
I
Well,
want an Earthbound movie.
you and a few other people, but no one's gonna
That
go
would
to
be
that.
funny.
No one's gonna go to that.
That would be funny though, if they made an Earthbound movie before Mother 3.
What if they just turned Mother 3 into the movie and just crushed everyone's souls? It's like, yeah, this was the story, but we just cut it down to 90 minutes of like
Yeah.
things slapping each other for fun. So yeah. Uh, yeah, I was happy we saw it. I after seeing the trailers, I kind of figured I was in for more of the same, and I was. I think it's slightly better just because it doesn't. You don't waste so much time in that like Brooklyn getting the background of the plumber stuff. It just kind of goes
Hmm.
right into
Mm-hmm.
right into things. So, but yeah, your
Yeah.
kids will like it for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up there, seeing it at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, in these days it'll be streaming in 3 months anyway. So.
Yeah, that's true.
There wasn't another banger though. I was hoping there'd be like another Peaches, but there was nothing in this one. So
They didn't get a Jack Black exclusive out of this?
no, they didn't.
Wow.
Did not. I thought Bowser Jr. was well done. Like he's actually a more fun like villain than Bowser is. Because Bowser's, even in the games, kind of bipolar. Like sometimes he's your friend and then he'll betray
Yeah.
you. But like Bowser Jr. is just like, nah, like scorched earth on everybody. He
Yeah,
doesn't learn anything from the show or the movie. I will say some of the least favorite things to me in the Mario universe are the uncanny valley elements of Odyssey. And they leaned into to two of those that I very much didn't like in the game and didn't need to see on the screen. So, but they were short set pieces for the most part because there's no time to dwell. On to the next scene.
Yeah, right. We have more game references to cover.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh.
How about you?
Yeah.
What you been up to?
I'm looking forward to it, I guess, but
Yeah.
oh, not a whole lot. I've been playing some games. Let's talk about they after I feels like a year. The guy who's done Lethal Company put out a new update.
So you're back in
for a while there. Yeah, for a while there, he was like, I'm burnt out on this. I'm gonna make a different game, and got the group back together, played it a little bit. There's a few new monsters. Outside of that, not a whole lot of new stuff. Some improvements, as far as like performance and graphics. There's actual graphic settings, which was never a case before.
You were just running it on high all the time because
yeah. But it is fun because none of us like look up what the stuff is, we just go in blind, and then if you see the new things, it's just a wild trip.
Sure.
And in one of the buildings we went into, there was just like these ferns growing all over the place. And you scanned them and they're like red, which usually means that they're danger, you know, you don't want to be around them. But they weren't doing anything. So I was just running through them to all the other rooms, grabbing loot. I'm like, this is probably fine, right? And I'm with this other guy. The other guy, you know, he's like, we're heading back to the ship to with our loot, and he's like, I scanned, and there's something on you. I'm like, I don't know what is. I don't know. And he's like, it says cadaver on you. I don't know what it is. No idea. So we just go to the ship and we drop our loot, and we're all hanging out. Usually we just kind of just like sit there and talk for a little bit, you know, and wait for the other guys to come back. Or I think in that case, everybody was back. And then all of a sudden, I just die, just out of the blue. I die, and then it, you know, it cuts to the everybody else's feed to like what they're looking at,
Yeah.
and it just shows me just turning into a giant plant monster, and just he grabs one guy from the ship, takes him outside and starts eating him. It's just, it was wonderful.
Did you wipe the whole crew then?
No, somebody ran over. He's like, "We got to get up in the air right now." So they hit the button that went left, but it was just funny because if we would have hit the button right away, we would have been safe. But we were just sitting there doing nothing, and yeah,
So it was dangerous after all.
yeah. And I think that's the disappointing part is because once you play it once, it's like, well, you got
You know
that
the
one
trick.
thing,
Yeah.
yep, and now you know the experience, but
Nice. I mean, it's fun to get new content for something like that, though.
yep, yep, yeah. The other one was it's like a jaguar that's out in the woods and jumps around the trees, jumping at you and stuff, which is pretty fun too.
Right.
But
So it gets you before you even enter like the facilities and stuff to look.
yeah, yep,
Yeah. That's funny. I played a whole bunch more of, well, not a whole bunch more because there's not a whole bunch more to play, but I finished, I would say, there's quote unquote retro rewind. I realized at some point that there's like an achievement board next to your calendar. So it was like my mission just like unlock all the achievements. So I went through all
oh yeah,
those, and there's like some fun stuff. Like one of them's like order a video off the black market. It doesn't give you any info. There's just like a SKU code that you need to punch in. So I was like, okay, let me just like, try and force this, and, like enter a bunch of stuff. Never worked, and then through playing the game, I like stumbled across how you figure out how to do that. I won't spoil it for anyone, but that was kind of interesting. So I knocked that off. And then the last one was the grind because it was get 1,000 videos in your video store. So at that point, like you
oh
have to unlock all the store space essentially. Once you get to level 20, you're capped, and then you have 2 employees. So you can have them doing the returns and the checking. So you don't have to do too much. You can flyer for people, or like you might have to answer a question. So the game becomes a lot less tedious, other than your stupid employees are always like taking naps and stuff. So you like slap them awake and fire them if they talk back. Like one of them was like, I'm not working unless you give me like an $18 a day raise, which they get paid like $40. It's like, no. And she's like,
wow,
okay, I'll just go back to work. But like some of them will just quit. But yeah, I did the grind, got through it and got it all. Built up my porn room really nice. Eventually you can unlock a room that has like swinging doors. So I had like 2 red chairs in there and some heart balloons and a couple neon lights. And I always turned the lights off to set the mood. And I built a nice collection of porn in there, 2 full 6-row stacks of porn, which I feel good about. And then, yeah, I got it all set up and then eventually hit that milestone, which it was annoying because I knew it doesn't tell you how many tapes you need unless you log out of the game and come back in, unless there's some way that I'm missing. So I was always like playing for a while, then like logging out and logging back in to like see how far off I was. And I knew I hit it, but it didn't register until the day ended and I closed the shop. So I was like, well, that's stupid. But I think I'm going to go back in and do a little bit more because like once you hit 20, you get into like the bootlegger. You can get into his place in the alley, and there's like a thing in there that's like, don't He's like, do you want to enable cheats and like do all this stuff? Like once you do it, you can't like unbreak the game. So I haven't tried that yet, but that's my plan. And then there's also a way to format video and install it in the game files to have your custom videos play on the display screens in the store. So I want to do that with one of my YouTube videos just for
Oh
fun.
yeah.
And then I think I'm probably done with the game. It does a good job of like pacing out its content and like events and stuff in a way that doesn't feel too monotonous. I'd say I put 24 hours total into it.
Okay,
I'd
yeah,
say,
that's not bad.
yeah, once you get to like 15, you know the routine pretty well, other than like what new release might be coming and the joke you'll get out of it. So the last like maybe like 5 hours are not like the most exciting, but I really liked that game for what it is.
Yeah. I bet there's like 100 mods at this point where you can get like real VHS tapes in
Oh,
there, right?
probably. Yeah, I'm sure you can swap out image files.
Yeah.
People coming up with all sorts of stuff. There was one that I was just like, I hope this is AI generated because it was an adult movie I got. I can't remember the exact title, but it had a monkey and a black guy, and it made some sort of like
Ooh.
monkey something joke. I was like, oh, that could be taken the wrong way. Like
Yeah.
nobody rented that as far as I could tell, but I was like, that's questionable. I hope that was like AI generated or
Yeah.
something.
Huh.
But yeah, it's fun in the way that like it just kind of like pulls you into the aesthetic more than the gameplay loop is like truly compelling. But now I gotta find something new to play.
Need a new job?
Need a new job. Yep, need a new simulator. I heard there's another video game simulator out there that has like more stuff in the city, but I don't think I'm ready for that yet. So,
Huh.
yeah. I did watch some stuff too. So we've been watching because it came on the Roku channel. We started The Connors, and then we'd gotten all the way through the streaming of that, and then for whatever reason that final season was not streaming on anything yet. So I think it just hit Netflix last week, maybe. And I didn't realize the final season was only 6 episodes. So we polished off that series, but like, what an anticlimactic like short series run to like round that thing out. Like, they closed up some storylines, but then also just kind of left it like whatevs. And like, I guess the last scene you see like the cast kind of breaking up and saying their goodbyes to their other fellow actors and like tearing up and stuff. So it felt kind of genuine, but yeah, I think that series overall was fine for what it was. I mean, it's so weird that they kept it going after Roseanne was fired, but
Well, that would be the funniest. Like if the last episode was just like Roseanne waking up in a bed and saying, "Oh no, not again."
it's still all a dream. Yeah. No, they didn't do that. They stood around her grave for a while. And I was like laughing with my wife because I was like, I'm like, well, clearly Dan doesn't plan to be buried by her because like her plot is completely filled in. So I guess she's just all by herself in the cemetery. Ugh. Yeah, I think the whole last season, the crux of it is just them trying to sue the pharmaceutical company that Roseanne OD'd from, and then winning a settlement, which is then, of course, as you'd expect, laughably small, and then show ends.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I didn't realize they'd written DJ out too after season 5. So like I thought they would at least bring his character back for the final episode, but no.
Huh.
I mean, he had like bit parts anyway, but
Was the Big Bang guy ever come back for that one?
just the first season, and he wasn't in
Okay.
every episode. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. Like if they just didn't think the storyline was going to work or what, but they brought him back as like deadbeat dad. Like he cheated on Darlene and like left and was never there for the kids. So and then he just kind of continued that, and for whatever reason he was just gone after the maybe first or second season. I can't remember exactly, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was all right. Now I just need to find some other stupid show that I never watched that I can just binge again, because right now I'm just completely out of TV to watch.
Yeah. We for some reason it just was on one of those live channels on Roku or whatever. It was like Married with Children, and it's like
nice.
That show is crazy to go back to.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've been watching some episodes and like behind the scenes on that. Did you ever watch Unhappily? I think it's Unhappily Ever After.
Oh no, I don't think so.
And it was basically like that WB show that basically was Married with Children, but like way shittier and like meaner in tone. And like the dad's like an alcoholic who talks to his kid's pet rabbit, stuffed rabbit thing.
Huh.
And it's wild. Yeah, I completely forgot about that show. And then I started watching episodes on YouTube again. Married with Children is great. How that stayed on
Yeah.
the air for 11 years is mind blowing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's the and the stuff would not happen today either. I mean,
No,
the
God,
way that
no. The way
it's
they,
amazing that it was back then, even really.
yeah,
But
the way they talked about women throughout the whole series is
yeah,
really not great. All the Biggins jokes and He-Man Woman Hater Club or whatever. The No Ma'am Club. Yeah.
yeah.
Were you watching like the early stuff, or did you get in like mid?
It was. I think it was more the early stuff that it was playing. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of liked that earlier to mid stuff the best. Like once it got, older and it was more focused on like the kids, it wasn't as good.
No, this was like the neighbor. The neighbor. Didn't they
First
go
one?
away at some point?
Well, the guy went away and then she married that other dude, or was shacking up
Okay.
with another guy. And that's
Yep.
when the show got good, once they replaced the original neighbor husband.
Yeah.
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 Classic.
It's kind of wild to go back to.
Yeah, not one you watch with the kids for sure.
No. There was a reason I wasn't allowed to watch it when I was young either, but
Yeah, I don't know that. Like, I know I watched it, but I'm sure my parents wouldn't have wanted me to. But Fox would always run those reruns pretty late at night, so
yeah.
by then I was, down in the basement watching it, and then switching over to Up All Night when that came on USA.
Yeah.
Catch a glimpse of a side boob from Porky's or something, Good times.
Yeah.
Gaming news. We actually have some kind of substantial stuff. That Nintendo digital news, where not the company I would expect to have gone first, but Nintendo says we're getting digital games at $10 less than physical starting in April or May maybe, or with Yoshi, whatever Yoshi game comes out.
Yeah. Which is a weird game to be like, that's the one we're starting this with.
Yeah, it seems like that Pokemon game would have been the obvious one to do that with.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's I'm surprised. I mean, I guess Nintendo's like the only one that really has any retail space left in the first place. And then to basically kick the retailer down the curb and say, well, it costs more to shop at your place now.
Right. I also though feel like if a physical game now costs 80, that maybe my digital one should cost 60. Like I would like to see a bigger gap there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we're doing it, let's do like the real cost of it then, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is funny though, you talk physical. I was at Best Buy over the weekend and they had 4 Xbox games in stock. Like,
jeez.
Literally 4. I mean,
in a store that's specifically for that.
Yeah.
Almost.
I mean, PlayStation has more, but not even substantially more. And then Switch and Switch 2 clearly have the most, which is still, 1/5 of what it would have been 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just shocked. Like it really it's really a visual impact to understand where Xbox sits in the ecosystem for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they can't even bother next time, right? Like,
no. Well,
they're
who's
not
going to stock their stuff? Like, they're not going to have shelf space dedicated to them. Target's not going to open up room again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're just going to do no discs next time.
Yeah, it doesn't serve their audience. It seems like to have physical, so and retailers aren't going to want it. And then we got PlayStation news. In no shock to anyone, really, I guess, given world market conditions between tariffs and RAM memory shortages. PlayStation's across the board went up $100, which is crazy. So this is the second time within like a year about that it's gone up. But like it puts the Pro at an eye-watering $900 for a console that is now going on almost 6 years old. I
Yeah,
mean, not the Pro
that's
itself, but
no, but you expect, I mean, at this point they were all half off
yeah,
from the original, pretty
yeah,
much. And now we're almost 50% more. If I mean, I guess the Pro is a different story, but yeah,
yeah.
it's and the interesting part, because there's another one that I think the Lenovo Legion or something like that rose their that went up like $650, like just crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're doing, because you would think this is a weird market and maybe you just kind of want to wait it out instead of doing that to that extreme. I mean, you're
Right.
just basically saying we're not selling this anymore.
Yeah, because like I don't imagine them lowering the price. You know, maybe at Christmas we'll get like a bundle or like an extra controller thing, but it's unprecedented that this follows the exact opposite model of every console generation where it gets
Yeah,
inherently cheaper and more profitable for them. And here it's like if you didn't early adopt, you're effed. You know what I mean? Like I fully expect the Switch is probably going to take a price hike too, because
probably.
I
Yeah.
mean everything else is going up.
It's just weird because the PlayStation one like went, they announced it like the day that the news came out that OpenAI like was breaking a contract on RAM. Like they were going to buy a huge, like just a like a pretty high percentage of the global RAM,
Nice.
and then they backtracked out of it. So like RAM prices are probably going down now.
Yeah.
So it's weird to not to raise your price. I guess after that, when it starts going down, then you're like, oh, it's now it's only 800, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I just it's crazy. Like there's no way even for the base PlayStation at like 650 now or whatever, you know, if you want the disc reader,
Yeah,
that I would even bother going for it. You know what I mean? Like when you're halfway to building a competent gaming PC for that price, like just do that. The games are there anyway.
yeah. I mean, when you're eating a lot of margin there on that RAM stuff, because it's not like a 1-to-1. You know, it's not like, well, it's this amount, so we're raising it this exact amount.
Yeah.
They're making extra money on this stuff to the point where, yeah, PC is like,
Right.
even with the more RAM prices, it's getting way closer to that $900 mark than,
Part of me wonders too if it's not to like set the price point to a point where like whatever comes out in 2027 for the next one, so it's not just like this huge margin of markup. It's like, well, it's $900, but the other one's still 650. So you know what I mean? Like,
yep, yep,
I don't know though. It's just like unbelievable. I just don't get it. It's gonna price people out. I mean, we're gonna be back in the days of like people heavily modifying consoles and get, you know what I mean, to just like burn games or
yeah,
do whatever because the barrier to entry is so outrageous.
yep, yeah. It's, I mean, it's kind of a double whammy of the piracy days, right? When we're doing like game prices like this that are going up and the consoles going up, and then on the movie side, you know, obviously every Netflix is kind of becoming unpalatable for pricing,
Yeah,
because there's another one coming on that front. It
can't wait.
it's the type of thing that people need to start choosing, right? Like they're not things that normal people have at some point.
Yeah, yeah. The cost of media in general is just nuts. It's pretty wild.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was glad I bought the Switch 2 at launch after kind of like seeing how things have been going because I'm sure it's just going to get more expensive. And
hmm
glad I bought my kids PS5 when I did because it was crazy. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like we've got the Slim. Like it should have gotten cheaper, but
yeah. Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, if you go to pawn shops, are they like, is that type, is the market raising with the prices of new stuff then too.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, it's weird because you go to pawn shops and you don't even see like a lot of current or last gen. Like I think that stuff's still hot because people are still. I mean,
Hmm.
last gen's still fully capable with a lot of stuff. So
Oh
you
yeah.
want the cheaper alternative. You know what I mean? And then you
I
see
mean,
like
there's
all the 3DSs that are like $185 still. I'm just like, what are we doing?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nintendo should have just
yeah.
milked that way longer and just continued selling the 2DS like for another 2 years. Like they so could have and just made
I think they could
piles
have.
of
Yeah.
money.
Hmm.
It's wild. It's
It is.
expensive
It is.
times.
It is wild for how many 3DSs that are sold that
That
those
they're that
things are still.
expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it had a huge run. I mean, it's it's not like it wasn't a juggernaut for. I mean, it carried them through the Wii U era. You know, I mean, they were
Yep.
selling those like hotcakes. So just don't get it.
It's time for the Wii U to come back.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be like two
I,
games that didn't port
I
over, right?
yeah. I was in a pretty big conversation with my nephews about Nintendo Land this weekend. That
Oh,
it's like how have they not done something like they nailed the best asymmetrical gameplay of all time, and then they're just like, "Yep, we did it. Never
yeah.
again."
Yeah, that was like a great experience. Like one of the few like truly noteworthy games, and yeah, just will forever lay in the darkness because it was on the Wii U and nobody played it, and they're not going to bother trying to figure out a way to do it. It would
Yeah.
be so easy for them too, though, to be just like, okay, it's got you know like the Switch capabilities of being able to like share a game. Like you can have one docked and you can have like it's totally doable to do something like that.
Oh yeah.
Granted, you have to jump through some hoops. But we're not talking like Crystal Chronicles or anything where you had to like hook up 4 GBAs or Pac-Man versus. I mean, it's much more accessible when everyone has your console.
Yeah. Use your, on the Switch 2 is docked. Use your Switch 1 as
Yeah,
the gamepad,
controller.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because everybody's got both for the most part. I mean,
Yeah.
shit, I think I still have 3 Switches laying around here somewhere between the Switch lights and yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that was a great experience. I actually hooked my Wii U back up mostly because I just didn't want. I don't know if mine has the BIOS problem or not, but I'm like, I don't want to find out. I think I'm gonna
Hmm.
mod it though. I was watching a tutorial on how to get the Wii U channels or the whatever the what channel is on there. So I think I'm gonna go for that and just open it up because why not?
Yep.
Fill it full of ROMs.
I'm not even sure where mine's at. I gotta get that. I'm sure the battery is blown out the back.
Yeah. Well, you got still one box too, right?
Yeah, I have a sealed one that I don't. What do you do with that?
Yeah. I think there's like a 50-50 chance that you plug that thing in and that BIOS is wiped and it's bricked. But
Yeah.
like there's only one way to find out and you're not gonna do it. So
Yep.
yeah. Um yeah, you've been playing Resident Evil, I see?
Yeah. So I've heard such good things about 9, right?
Yeah.
And I've never really done any of them, really. In the early days, I tried some of them, but like the tank control stuff was
Yeah.
just I can't wrap my head around tank controls, and then in that type of game, it's just like that. Just I mean, it's there for a purpose to add the
Right.
stress of the game, right? But um, so on the Steam sale, I basically picked up everything real cheap, and started at the beginning with the HD remaster, which at this point is pretty old. It's like
Oh
a
yeah.
GameCube game now at this point, right?
Yep. GameCube. Yep.
And yeah, I played through that, and it was a pretty good experience, I thought.
So now
Um,
you've got like Zero and all that stuff too.
yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go that far in. I started up the Resident Evil 2 remake,
Sure.
which is quite a whiplash from, you
Yeah.
know,
Quality of
even
life
the remake
stuff.
is, yeah, even the remake stuff is kind of like, or the first one is still like the static shots, right?
Yeah. And they added like the shoulder like quick snap turnaround, right? Like that was the big control enhancement.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was still like used a stick.
Okay, I thought there
to
was a
to
shoulder button that
control.
would like 180 you really quick, but maybe I misremember. I know that comes in
Okay.
at some point. I just don't know when.
Yeah, I don't, because they made a DualShock version of the first game too, right? And
Right.
I don't know if that got rid of tank controls or if it just did
No.
something weird with
Nah, it
it.
just made it slightly easier.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I
But
recommend 4 if you've not played that too.
yeah,
It's
yeah, I'm definitely gonna get through 4, and yeah, I'm gonna probably do 2, 3, 4, and probably skip 5 and 6
yeah, I
and
would.
go
Code
to
Veronica
7.
is worth putting some time into.
Yeah.
You're gonna, I mean, that's still tanky. So if you're not a fan of that, it's not gonna maybe win you over, but it's neat at least. It's funny because like you put that on there, and like I just remembered that I had bought a Humble Bundle like 4 fucking years ago with all those games in it because I wanted to remastered, and I just spent the weekend like searching through my email archive and I found it, so I redeemed all the codes, and yeah, now I have them all too. So, and I'd
Yeah.
had another bundle, so I already had like Revelations and Revelations 2, and so I
Oh
think
yeah.
I have basically everything as well at this point.
Yeah. Now, have you played both sides? Like, is there a reason to really go through them both ways?
Nah, I mean I've never tried that. And in fact I never even beat like 2. And I can't remember who I played with, probably Leon, or whoever the guy is, I forget in that
Hmm.
one. But no, I never bothered doing both. I would just pick one and then push through it. And like I said, I never finished it. Actually, I've never fully finished a Resident Evil game. I always get some point late game and I get stuck, and then I walk away and I forget too much to come back. And that's the one I got the closest to was the first one, which I was probably like I had to be like 95% through that game, and I just stopped playing and never picked it back up.
Yeah.
Two I got maybe like 10, 15 hours into. 4 I've played again probably 80 to 90% of that. Never beat it. I
Yeah.
just always find a reason to fall off. I don't know what it
Well, they
is.
usually kind of turn into like just a big boss type thing at the end too, don't
Yeah.
they? But
Yeah.
yeah, I ended up kind of using a guide for a lot of the first one too because I just kind of wanted to get through them. Like I
Yeah.
don't. There's so much that you could just sit there and figure. Those puzzles that you could just wander around this whole map trying to
Yeah.
figure out what it is. So
Reading signs on
yeah.
statues and right.
So
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, you can get the gist of what the puzzle is going to be, and it's just like, yeah, you just figure out where you need to go for the ingredients or whatever for it, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah, and the whole typewriter mechanic is such a pain in the ass in those early
yeah,
ones, and like save scumming and like sucks.
that's
Yeah.
that. That's why I was happy when I started playing the second one and they have a typewriter. I'm like, are you serious? We're still doing this shit? And then it's like, no, it's just.
It's
I mean,
just
you
a
still save there,
sure.
but it's not limited.
It saves wherever. Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing like with those games too. Like back in that era, I was like such a freak about like fucking myself over. So like if I felt like I saved at the wrong time or if I felt like I used too
Mm,
many resources, I would just replay a section over and over again until I like felt I got a clean run. So everything would take me like 10 times longer. But I mean, you could totally in those first couple games get yourself into a point where like you've screwed yourself, you know what I mean? Because you're gonna not be able to save or you're not gonna be able to heal, and then game's basically unbeatable. So
right. And sometimes you just think you were fine, and then a crimson head comes out, and then it's
yes,
like, well, yeah. What do you do, right? Yeah,
yeah, those guys are bastards. Yeah, yeah, definitely that first game though. Like, man, when that came out, I was so blown away by
yeah.
that. I mean, as
I'm kind of
archaic as it looks now.
I'm kind of surprised they haven't done that one again, but I guess
I suppose they
it is.
upresed it and ported it to PC. So
Yeah, I mean, it's just not the same. It's not like the newer remakes are all in
yeah,
the style of 4 with the over the shoulder, right?
it didn't feel like the third remake got as much attention as the second one. I don't know if it was because it was just too close on the heels and people had already like seen what that could do. So
Yeah. Well, and I think in the remake, they added Mr. X, right? He's not. Is he in the first? Or
I don't know. I remember the Nemesis character, but yeah.
right, but yeah, in the remake of 2, they put like nemesis type guy.
Oh, okay.
So I would imagine when they did 3, it's like, yeah, we're doing that again. You
Sure.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. But you haven't picked up 9 though. You're just kind of trying to get up to speed, and then maybe you'll give it a
Hmm.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a hard time playing horror games anymore. I just get like too worked up doing it. So
Well, that's kind of
I
what
don't need the stress.
that's kind of what kind of whiplashed me a little bit, because I mean the first one is just kind of like, okay, you're just
Yeah. A couple jump scares. That's
yeah.
about it.
The second one, you're like, oh, there's audio everywhere in this thing.
Yeah, I bet that's a big difference. Yeah, I should boot it up because that was the whole reason I bought that Humble Bundle was just to play that. So I should give it
Yeah,
a shot.
it's good so far.
Nice. Nice. And
But
you played some Ultimate Sheep Raccoon?
yeah, you talked about this a while ago, didn't you?
I Ultimate Chicken Horse for sure. Ultimate Sheep is that the one where you're like racing on?
On bikes.
Yes, I played a bit of this. But not much more than maybe like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, but we're having a pretty good time as a family doing that. Everybody is at the kind of the skill level that if they are lucky enough, they're able to pull it off.
Sure.
So it makes, the 6-year-old feel amazing when he crosses that finish line first,
Right.
through whatever happenstance that happened through the course, but it happens. And yeah, so it's pretty good equal footing on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I
And then,
think it's such a
you
great
got,
idea for a game, like a couch co-op party game anyway.
and it's just the personality of the people playing too, because one person's like, I'm building a track that's perfect all the way to the end, and then some other guy is like, I'm putting a block here, so the whole thing you can't get anywhere on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I should pick that one up again because we played a lot of the first one. Um, I like the art style too, kind of like that shitty clip art looking style.
Yeah, I do. I like this one better, I think. It also has it's not permanent death. I think that was the one thing that was bad about the first one,
Sure.
not bad, but like if there was a trap at the very beginning and everybody died and one person is left, it's like, well, everybody's just watching
Right.
for a couple minutes this guy carefully navigate the course so he can for sure get across, right?
Right.
Whereas this one, you're knocked out, you have to wait a while, and then you're back in it. If you fall down off the screen, then you're gone. But that's about the only way you're out.
Yeah. You're playing it on Game Pass, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I should give it a shot. I was doing it only on cloud on my Fire Stick, and that was less than ideal for some of the Twitch reflexes you need because it doesn't always run smooth. But it'd be a fun one to install and just play. Yeah, cool games. It's nice to get stuff like that on console too on Game Pass, where you can just like, because I feel like Xbox isn't so much about like family play and like that kind of stuff. So when you get that stuff on Game Pass, it feels kind of nice.
Yeah, it's really hard to find it. I mean, this is gaming in general, is find a split screen game anymore, right?
Yeah.
Because or local multiplayer.
Yeah. Sitting here listening to you and trying to figure out why my shoulder's killing me. And then I remembered I installed 4 lights when I got home today in the ceiling.
Ooh.
And that's either because I had my hands above my head for a very long time or because I grabbed a hot wire and took a jolt. So it's one of those two, or both maybe.
It's probably both, yeah.
I thought I was grabbing the negative. And it was like a coil of wires. And it was very much the positive. But you learn that lesson quick.
Is there a fuse in your shoulder that broke or something?
Maybe. I don't know. The last socket I did, I pulled all the wires out, and then I realized, like, hey, I disconnected all the wires, but none of them was black or red. Like, so one of these neutral or like negative wires is the hot, and I'm like, I don't know which, but we're gonna hook it up and see what happens. So I think they work either way, even if you wire them backwards. But
yeah, I think so.
fun.
Huh.
Yeah. And then the only other thing I was just going to touch on was I don't know if you saw that gaming historian update. You know, he had done the video 2 years ago saying he was stepping, or he made the post he was stepping away after that. Why am I blanking on the game? What was the one? The Oregon Trail.
Oh, that was his last one.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
he's like, I'm gonna just do this for fun. I'll come back and do it on, and then he posted a video over the weekend that was basically like, so I left for 2 years and realized I didn't miss it, and I don't want to come back and half-ass it. And it's like, well, that's cool. I mean, you didn't need to make that announcement, but like, it's kind of nice to put like the nail in it, you know. Also insane to walk away
Yep.
from a 1.5 million YouTube channel. I'm sure like he was generating decent revenue, but I think, I can see it. You create that content you did for like a decade and lots of effort, high quality, and to just move into something else and explore other areas makes total sense.
Yeah, and I mean, you lose some of your skills
Yeah.
along the way. Even in the last 2 years, if you're not doing it, you're not doing it as productively. I can't imagine trying to come back to that and say you're doing it for fun, but then also have it try to be at the same quality as your other stuff.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like obviously he's got his detractors too, but like he arguably made the best and most in-depth history videos on
Mm.
the topics he was talking about on the platform. I mean, just top notch. So it's sad to see him go, but like his body of work is still going to be up there, obviously, and lots of great content to watch.
Yeah, I mean that's just YouTube in general. Like there's nobody that has been on for forever, right? Even that old. I mean,
Right. Yeah, that's
other
true.
than video game nerd, I mean, he's still doing it periodically, but
Yeah. But nobody, I mean, his audience has got to be like a sixth of what it was at this point.
yeah, yeah,
I think once he made that video basically like talking about how much work it is for him and just like basically showing his setup and that he's basically like the most inept idiot when it comes to filming YouTube videos that like it was hard to feel bad for him. It's like, yeah, this is a catastrophic pain in the ass for you because you've like vice clamped a 2x4 with a screen on it to your desk and like you've duct taped a light to your. What are we doing? Like, this
yeah.
isn't how it's done, dude.
The way I mean, yeah, the one of the biggest channels, right, for
Yeah.
that type of stuff. Yeah, that's amazing. And yeah, now it's like Scott the Woz, and it's like, is he the one bringing viewers to him at this point? Like he's the more
Yeah.
popular one at this point.
Yeah. I like his videos,
Right?
but his stuff is like so long format now. It's like I can only listen to him like ramble on and like look at his hands for the most part for like so
Yeah,
long, and then I'm like, okay, I got to do something different here. But yeah, his stuff's good. Yeah, the whole landscape has changed. I mean, obviously with streaming coming into YouTube changed a
mm-hmm.
lot, and now with shorts and the algorithm sucking the way it does, not recommending things. So
Yeah. I just think, I mean, there's either you are on it so long that you are impossibly burnt out that you have to leave. I mean, that's pretty much everybody. I think 99.9%.
yeah,
And then the other small percentage is the people that make too damn much money that they can't possibly leave
right.
because there's enough people involved that would be like, this is an entire business that we can't shut down.
Yeah. Well, I even look at like Peanut Butter Gamer, and I still watch his stuff on occasion, but he like basically stopped doing any gaming content, and now he does like I ate for a week at Wendy's stuff, and it's just like, okay. Like, I mean, this is entertaining too because you're entertaining, but it is not at all the same stuff he was doing before.
Yeah. No, because that stuff takes too much time, right? To
Right.
edit and do all that stuff.
Yeah. Where a trip to like Costco can make you a video and you just film yourself eating schlop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you have anything else? Or did we get through our main
No,
topics?
no.
All right. On to staff picks. I have no idea what yours is, so you might as well go first.
Yeah. Mine is a video game called Berry.
Okay.
Um,
Is it a coin
and
pusher?
no, but it's in the style of like an incremental game, right? Where you're just like having numbers go up type thing, and then you stop, and then you reset, and you do it all over again. Um, this one is a little abstract that you are. It's these guys that are little plants, fruit plants that grow fruit, and then the fruit jumps off of them, and then there's a hole in the ground, and you pick up the fruit, you put the fruit in the hole, and the hole gets bigger eventually.
Why does the hole get bigger?
You feed it just like, I mean,
Oh, you're not
the more
planting
stuff
these
I,
things. You're feeding a pit
yeah,
that
it's just a
devours
pit.
them. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then the day shuts off, and they're literally like 30-second days. So like you're quickly grabbing these fruits, put them down, and then you earn a little bit of money for each thing. Then you buy upgrades, and it goes from there. And then one of the upgrades is that you can start controlling where the hole goes. It moves around, and then it turns into. Do you remember Donut County?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of that where you're feeding this hole to make the hole get bigger, but then the hole also gets bigger that you can start dropping everything around you into it too.
Okay.
So it feels very like a Katamari esque type thing. You start in
Sure.
a very closed off. It's like a tiny area. Then eventually you get like a sledgehammer that you start tearing down these walls, and by the end of the game you just have this huge wide open space. And I've eventually eaten everything with the hole, and it's
Great description of a video game here.
when the day is over, the hole starts chasing you.
Okay.
So you have to run around and pick up all the money that you earned while the hole is chasing you, which is it is pitch black pretty much. You can see some shine of the coins. So it's kind of got like a creepy element to it in the end
Sure.
where you're just like there's
This
many
thing
times
you've been
where
feeding
I've
is like turning on you now.
yep. There's many times where I'm like I got all the coins and I'm running back to bed and then the hole was there and I fell in the hole and you lose all your money for the day.
Nice. What is this on? Steam?
Yeah, PC. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's got a weird aesthetic to it too.
3D?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. I never heard of this one. But you must have good taste in like weird games because I swear it was like 6 months ago that you were talking about like Raccoon. And I've listened to like 4 podcasts in the last 3 weeks that everyone's like, Raccoon is so great. I'm like, really? That game? Like, this is catching on now? So,
That's funny because I don't know if I really like that game that much. And I mean I should have liked the concept of that one way more
yeah,
than what the actual product was, but
I still have not checked it out. I'll have to one of these days.
yeah.
Mine, speaking of YouTube, I don't know how this hit my feed really because I don't follow either of these people, but Ludwig, mostly known as a Twitch streamer, and then Michael Reeves, mostly known as the even more deranged William Osmond of YouTube. They have been posting a series on Ludwig's channel called Tip to Tip. Apparently, they did this in Japan before, but this was much bigger. And the video series just wrapped up today. Was I think the final one, unless they're going to do like a bonus episode. But basically, they started off in the very south of China at the sea, and their goal was to get there, take motorbikes. They are not allowed maps. They are not allowed smartphones. They are not allowed to ride highways. And they barely speak Chinese, and they wanted to drive all the way to the north to hit Mongolia. And they did daily vlogs on it. And it is so well produced and hilarious. Obviously, they had like a chase vehicle that was like well behind them, so they weren't like right on their heels, but like doing the editing and stuff in real time. And it is pretty awesome to see, like just a crazy adventure too. And then they got proper Chinese speaking like translators, so you're like watching them like go up to people and like go into a restaurant and they'll be like, and the person's asking them like table for two, and then their response in Chinese is like butchered and it's like P man, and people are just looking at them like what. And then I think Ludwig the whole time was going up to people saying like, "My name Chinese is Pussy Burger," and then just like the look on these poor people's faces, and they never figured out how to like pronounce hotel correctly over like the whole journey. So like every day was a struggle trying to like figure out how they can get a room. And yeah, it was a great idea for a video. It was like, and those their personalities too are pretty funny. So it was a pretty epic watch. I'll probably go back and watch it again, but I'm hoping they do another one in a year or so too. But I can't imagine putting yourself in such an uncomfortable situation and then like actually pulling it off and not dying on a highway somewhere in China.
Yeah, and does it seem like they're like doing it?
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's
yeah. I mean, there's like some gray areas where it's like, well, that guy pulled up his phone and like showed us a thing, so it's like I guess that count, you know. But I mean, like
yeah.
they never really got great intel. They were like always confused as to where they were going and getting lost. And I think halfway through the journey, they got food poisoning and spent like a whole night just like shitting and puking.
Oh
So
gosh.
that was entertaining. And then, you know, everywhere in China, people were offering you cigarettes. So they had like a cigarette counter that they were counting the whole time and how many they had to smoke. And yeah, it seemed like they did it the right way. Like, where if you're going to do that, you like fully immerse yourself and just like see actual China, not just like tourist spots. So pretty
Yeah.
cool. I
And
can't imagine doing it.
no. I think Top Gear, those are my favorite episodes when they go on these huge trips and they do that stuff.
Sure.
But you can tell on the edges that all of that is produced. A lot of it is fake.
Yeah.
You know, they're probably going to some fancy hotel at night instead of whatever they're
Yeah.
taping, you know. So, yeah, doing the streamer life where they're maybe can't afford it or they're just more on camera more where it's like this is actually what we're actually doing it all, you know, the way that we said
Yeah.
we are.
Well, they've to be fair, they didn't generally like rough it. Like they stayed in a couple hotels that were like questionable, but for the most part, they were going to like Holiday Inns, like hitting big cities. And I think they
Yeah.
actually brought like camping gear, but they never found themselves in a position where they had to camp along the road. But yeah, it seemed like they were pretty all about the experience, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got to check that out because those, yeah, I like those type of things.
yeah, I recommend it. It was really fun to watch and pretty funny too. So, and something I don't think I would ever be able to do personally. Just that language
Right.
barrier alone, like, was wild. I think they said they spent
I
3 weeks practicing Chinese leading up to that, which is not nearly enough.
no, especially if you're crossing different types too, you know, across
Yeah,
all
and
of
like the
them. I'm
different
guessing you are.
dialects. Yeah,
Hmm.
like I think it's hard even if you live there to like know all of those dialects. So pretty cool.
Yeah. The there was a Top Gear one that they did across Mongolia, which is that one's crazy too because it's like you don't realize how empty Mongolia actually is. Like
Oh, I
there's
bet.
very little roads anywhere. It's crazy when you think about how big it was at one time in history, and then you know also being by China, which is packed.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy.
yeah. I think my thing that I was impressed with was like obviously you saw a lot of like you saw some of like rural China and stuff, but like when they were in cities, like shit was like super modern and clean and like
Hmm.
kind of like not what you're told a lot, right? That it's just like people in huts. And I mean, I'm sure there is some of that. It's a huge country, but really impressed by how modern the cities were.
Well, they all have solar panels and electric cars now, so you
It's
know
true. And they
they're like, what gas prices?
yeah,
What's the
they
problem? I don't see.
pay with QR codes for everything. And
Hmm.
yeah,
No, it's way better over there in a lot of regards as far as modernization for sure.
yeah, yeah, it was interesting. I recommend everyone check it out a ton. If you just search tip to tip, you'll find it.
Yeah.
It seems like it's been doing well in the algorithm. So, but I suppose with that, we are on to the weekend rental. Um, weekend rental, of course, we'll play a game for a given system. Andy and I will give it some time and then give our opinions as to whether we would personally buy, rent, or burn that game. We're talking about the Game Boy Advance on this one, and we played Mario versus Donkey King. Um, kind of the series that birthed out of Donkey Kong 60 or 94 on the Game Boy. And then there's been a whole bunch of these and remakes and remasters. And
Hmm.
this one was, I think the majority of these landed in the 3DS era, I feel like, or 2DS and DS.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's like this one and the first Donkey Kong one are kind of its own thing. Because after that, it turned into like Lemmings with
Yeah.
minis and all that stuff. That's kind of
And there's
what
some of
those
this
games turned
here.
into.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I've played this one a little bit before, never as much as I did for this episode, but it always like I love and hate the art style of it. Like there's something
Yeah.
about that Game Boy Advance where it's like doing the pseudo 3D thing and like trying to do some video sequence stuff and like it I guess at the time it was kind of cool and novel and now it's just like I don't know that I like it. It's not bad. It's just maybe not for me.
Yeah, especially when it's on a bigger screen pixelized
Yeah, that's
more.
true.
I think it really looks a little bit weird. But yeah, I think I remember when it came out that I was like, "Oh, this is a
Yeah,
I can play this on a Game Boy."
right.
Like,
It definitely
I
pushes the hardware for sure.
yeah. Um but yeah, now it's like, this is way rougher than even Donkey Kong Country. It looks not great,
I mean, I'm probably gonna have nightmares tonight about a Donkey Kong fist just like flying down and punching me in the ass, from the ceiling or something. That thing was disturbing.
Worst mini games. That's probably the worst bonus mini game of all
Yeah,
time, I think.
I didn't like. Yeah, I didn't like either flavor, the punch or the just random one. I was like, they were too slow, and the rewards were not that great. But the fist one
Right.
was definitely disturbing for sure.
Yeah, and there was no way to do it. There's no way for you to know, really.
Right.
I don't think. It was just like, well, it's just random chance of
Yeah.
whatever it comes down on.
I just spammed the button wherever I started on. I was like, this is what I'm
Yeah.
doing. So yeah. Um, but yeah, I think there's 6 stages, unless there's a bonus one that I didn't get to. And then each world has 5 stages. A mini Mario stage, which is the Lemmings type gameplay you talked about, and
Yeah.
then the boss battle, which is some twist on the Donkey Kong Jr. formula for the most part. Um, I think what this series does, and this game in particular, very well is the Nintendo thing of like introducing you to elements to get good at them and build them into like your gameplay very well. I mean, this one's a little more on the nose because it gives you the opportunity to like hit hidden buttons or watch the title screen and it'll show you like what the new thing is it's introducing. But
Mm-hmm.
the ramp up and evolution of that is always really good in these games, and I think that's pretty present here. A lot of it
Yeah.
comes from that Donkey Kong 94, but it's just evolved, honestly.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I think it's probably the name change, right? That I stuck this one with all the other ones that I was thinking that when we played 94, how much of it is a platformer, right?
Yeah,
And this one has all that stuff. It has the same stuff in it. It doesn't use it as much, I would say, as the Game Boy one does.
right.
Um, but yeah, after this, they completely abandon. I mean, you're not even Mario in most of the other games. You're just the minis and all that stuff. But yeah, it it is pretty good at that. I think I was just more disappointed in that, where it's like it started to ramp you up to be like, these are all the jumps you're going to learn and all that stuff, and then in the end, you're kind of not using them very too much.
Right. Well, the level design always gives you like almost 3 ways to accomplish the same goal,
Yeah.
and maybe that's so like the more skilled players can get through it faster. But like you can always just choose the easiest path, and you can do most of that with the base jump. I feel like
Yep.
because like I rarely did I feel the need to like go out of my way to do like the handstand double jump thing. Like occasionally, like
Right.
if I was feeling
Right.
it, but
I think there was one thing where it was like, if you're handstand and things are falling on you, they won't hurt you, and I don't know
right.
if I ever use that again.
It makes perfect sense because falling bricks can't hurt a human if they're walking on their hands, but if it hits your head, you're instantly dead. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that thing would have crotched Mario and he'd be in more pain than if he just took it to the noggin. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do like so I had played obviously that Switch remaster not that long ago. So a lot of this was fresh in my mind, but um, I do like that they have like the bonus collectible element, where it's like you can get the 3 packages or the 3 things on screen with the minis to like get like the complete on each level. Or if you're just like, whatever, I just want to get through this thing, you can just run and grab the item you need.
Right. Because
Um,
a lot of those things are just like, this is easy. It's right there. You can see what it is. It's just going
yeah,
to take more time because you have to go through the whole level again.
right. And sometimes I just don't wanna, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
one package or none package is good enough. Still gets
It
me the
isn't
win.
it's a good experiment, but like to see like what type of people do
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah. I know when I played the remaster one, I was just like all about it. I was like, it's not a done level until we have them all. And this time I was just like, I don't care. Like we're just going through. Um, so I do like that element. It gives it some replayability, I think, where if you were to just breeze through the easy course, there's a reason to go back and play it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I think where these start to fall off for me, and it always seems to happen, is like there's always some point in these where it goes from like breezy, lighthearted fun to like, oh, this is just really frustration against the clock now, and this is annoying, and
The levels are
I'm
too big.
yeah, and I'm not having
Yeah.
fun with it. And that's where they always get to the point where it's like, do you want to grind it out or do you just want to put it down? And I find myself usually just wanting to be like, this stopped being fun and is now just frustrating, and then I'm done with it.
Yeah. When you load into a level and you have to scroll around to be able to see it all, and you're like, okay, now it just doesn't have the same feel to it where you're like pre-planning the whole level before you even take a step. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And I get why they do that, but I like the more breeziness. Like I'd rather just take more like mid tier, maybe throw me a wrench once in a while, but I also never find the boss battles in these to be that fun. I think they're probably the weakest part of the game. I mean, they're not
Yeah.
overly hard, but they're not like enjoyable either. It's just like repetition waiting for the most part.
Yeah.
And that one where you're doing like the Donkey Kong Jr. thing kind of and just like knocking fruit down on his head. That one was like so randomized. There was like no pattern to his movement. It was just like, I
Yeah,
guess
you're
I'll
just
just go
hitting
back
fruit
and forth. Yeah. So,
because there's no way you could time it up correctly on that one.
right. Yeah. Visuals, though, like I said, weird in some regard, but like kind of amazing for what they are.
Voice acting.
Yeah. Yeah. Mario's made some weird, like, groan thing in one of the cutscenes. It's like, I've never heard Mario make that sound before. That is odd. Yeah, and the intro, like little like cinematic thing, is cute for the hardware. I did really
Yeah.
like the like grab the toy ball thing, like huck it towards your screen animation. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so what is Donkey Kong's fascination? Like, why
Yeah, he hates
does he want
Mario.
all of the Mario toys?
Correct. It's a cute figure of this guy that I can't stand. Let me have them all, please. It doesn't make any sense. Plus, they're annoying as hell. I'm just saying it right now.
When I watched that intro, I'm like, little do they know that Amiibo was going to be this thing in the future.
They should have just like updated it to have like amiibo figures and all of
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong didn't get there in time for all the Mario Amiibos to come.
Yeah, who knew outside of bananas his other love was like minifigs of Mario. It's great. Yeah. I hate those. I do not enjoy those like lemmings type levels. I just
Yeah,
it I find them more of like frustration and like I'll fail like once or twice and then get the right. And there's always like the straggler, right? And then you hear the little bastard calling off the screen like Mario, Mario. It's like I don't need you. Go away.
yeah. That I mean, that's I think the biggest frustration that's what this whole series turned into was
Mhm.
those things. I mean, I get it with the DS. You were more into like the drawing the stuff and doing stuff like that, but there was probably ways you could have made a more direct sequel to this stuff.
Yeah.
That's why it's impressive that they remade this game
Right.
because yeah, it really turned into the mini stuff, the mini guys and all those stuff. For them to remake this game, and it's a short game too.
Yeah, it is not. I mean, which is good for the platform it's on, but yeah, it is not super long.
No, not when I was playing on my Switch and we blew through how many levels in like a half hour, and it's like, oh, this
Yeah.
game is This was a full price game almost. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was down to the wire on it, so I didn't start it until tonight, and I put an hour and a half in, and I was on stage 5 by the time I was like, I think I got the gist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. The Switch one adds the. Did you play the 2 player mode in that?
um, I want to say we did a bit, but then we just found it more fun to just like hand the controller back and forth that
Really?
way.
See,
Yeah,
I really like the 2 player mode in the new one. Because yeah, it basically adds another key and another lock. So it's
yeah.
kind of like two people are working on two different things at the same time. So it ends up being where one person can't pull off the one thing that needs to happen. So that gets
Right.
frustrating sometimes. But
I need to go back and finish that. My son and I did like a camping trip, a glamping trip, and we brought the TV and the Switch, and I hotspotted it in the evening, and we blew through most of it in an evening and a morning, and then I ran out of time before we had to check out for the final boss, and that's where we left it. I don't know why we never picked it back up,
yep.
but
It was a good experiment for my kids because I didn't tell them that we had that game.
oh really?
So couple nights ago, I said, "Okay, let's play a game," and we started playing the Game Boy Advance game, and nobody wanted to do it. They were just like,
Really?
"This, get the new Switch game out, crack that open. Oh, now this game's fun."
The 3D
Yeah,
makes it good.
yeah,
So funny how kids are.
yeah.
Well, what do you think you would give it then on the Byron Burden scale?
I think I still give it a buy. It's nowhere in the same realm as 94, Donkey
Yeah,
Kong 94. I don't think that is. I think they hit perfect on this style of game right out of the gate,
right.
and then they tried again, and I think they did it well. But I mean, after this, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Rent just because like I didn't hate it, but like you said, it's so short, and there's like some weird stuff to it. Like it's not inherently bad. Like it's actually a really good game, but like when you compare it to like other Nintendo offerings, and like you said, even Donkey Kong 94, it just kind of pales in comparison to me. I don't know. I don't have nostalgia for it, and that might be part of it too. So
Yeah, yeah, and part of it is me basing it off of like how good it is compared to all the other ones.
yeah,
You
and
know?
I've only ever like watched my kid over his shoulder play some of the other ones. So
Yeah. I was reminded because I looked at like how many of these they've made at this point, and I remember briefly there was one was like a Mario Maker esque thing before Mario Maker, so you made your
oh
own thing,
really?
own levels, and when you played somebody else's levels, you tipped them stars,
Okay.
and then the people use stars to buy new things that they can build in their levels.
Wow. I had
So it
no
was like a
idea.
whole tipping economy that the whole game is built around, and I can't imagine that went well. I mean,
Right.
you had the option of not paying tips, I think. So
And now how does that work? Like there
yeah,
are
right.
no
It's
tips to
gone.
get. So
I think that was a Wii U digital game, I believe. So like that's
really?
gone.
Huh. Never I'm gonna have to look into that. I never heard it. What was the name of that one?
Tipping stars.
Tipping
Yeah.
stars. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Wild. Good old Wii U.
Yep. And does I was thinking about this. Does Game and Wario or not Game and Wario, Mario and Wario, does that kind of fit in this too? A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Kind of
I
that
think
same
this game's better
framework,
than
right?
that one.
Yeah, for sure. Mario and Wario we got a little rough. But yeah, it does kind of have those vibes, you're right.
The colors switching and all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure. Yeah. At least you don't have to like fudge with a mouse control on this one.
Yep.
But well, I suppose that another episode.
That's another one. Um, you can reach us at weekendrentalpodcast@gmail.com. We're also on social media and YouTube. Of course, if you want to see the video version, we're on YouTube. And then we also do a movie podcast on the Patreon, Geekade Patreon. And you're going to want to sign up for that because you get a movie podcast from us, but probably even better content than what we do on there.
Yes, what everyone else is doing is much. Check that stuff out too.
Yep. But that's going to do it this week. So be kind, rewind.